Hello, everybody, and welcome to Adobe Live. My name is Flynn, and we'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land in which we are creating and streaming today and pay respects to elders past, present, and emerging. It is Halloween. We're continuing our fun Halloween week, and I'm delighted to be joined today by Johanna, or as you may know her, Dark Hours Co. Hello, Johanna.
Hello, everyone.
Boo.
Woo! I was thinking, I got it since I'm not technically wearing a costume, though I have decorated a little extra.
Yeah.
I thought I needed to have a spooky, spooky intro, and that's what happened. So that's what you got.
It was top shelf, as are your decorations behind you. You've definitely got a lot of stuff there. So your bedroom is dressed up, which is great.
Yes. No, definitely. I wish it could be as spooky as this all year round. But then it wouldn't be as special, I
Right.
think, if it was all year round.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yes, very excited about today. This is not only one of my favorite holidays, if not the favorite holiday, but I've got some exciting stuff to show as well on stream.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thanks everyone that's joining us. We are live, so if you have any questions as we're going along, feel free to throw them in chat. We're live on Behance. We are live on YouTube. It's always great to hear from you if you are out watching live. And if you're watching on demand, hello as well. Yeah, it's been a great Halloween week. We had two streams yesterday, one with Jeremy Lord and why am I drawing a blank? Johanna?
Annika.
And Annika, of course, doing Adobe Express. And it was a lot of fun. So we've been kind of doing a lot of Halloween stuff. Halloween's not as big a deal in Australia as it is
Yes.
in North America. Yeah, it is creeping in. I live in the suburbs, so I have the kids. Like the kids are going to go do Halloween and stuff like that. But so it's quite fun to kind of get involved and get to do a little bit of Halloween stuff here on Adobe Live. So thanks for indulging us a little bit.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, cool. So Johanna, well, let's take it over to you, and it's always great to have you on because your favorite app is Fresco, and so do you want to kind of segue into what we're doing today?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, big announcement. Fresco is now free for everyone.
Yeah,
And all the brushes and everything. I opened up the app the other day and saw this, and it was like mini Christmas. So
yeah,
keeping on the festive theme, I was a kid in a candy store again, getting this app all over again. So that's big news number one. Big news number two is, of course, that we're not going to start in Fresco today because Project Neo beta is out
yeah.
and premiered at Max. Still very, very jealous that you got to go, Flynn, and you weren't able to take me, but I digress. Maybe next year, maybe sometime in the future, but that is the main fun thing that I wanted to start off with today, and then we'll move it to Fresco. So we're going to say hi to the new kid on the block, which is Neo, and we're going to say hello once again to Fresco, and welcome into the free for everyone space, I
Yeah,
guess. So it's a
cool.
2 for 1.
2 for 1. Yeah, that's quite cool. Actually, I didn't realize that. But yeah, the two things you're showing are free, so you can go to. I guess I'll leave it to you. But yeah, Neo's kind of the new tool. I'm embarrassed to say it's been 2 weeks since Max. I still haven't even loaded this up yet, which is crazy because it's the thing. I'm so excited about it. But it's great. I can live vicariously through your monitor. So
Yes.
let's check it out. So do you want to tell us a little bit about Neo, and yeah, what we're looking at here?
Perfect. Yes. So Neo, as far as I understand, I haven't done too much, I suppose, deep research. I've basically just jumped at it, pressed all the buttons, and just seen like what can I make, and then that's generally how I'll roll. I'll jump
Yeah,
in, do all the stuff, probably do things maybe not the correct way, but just the way that makes sense to me, and then by success and failing, I'll learn the program eventually. So that is basically my disclaimer to say that I don't necessarily know what I'm doing. I've had this, I think, is my third day of playing around in Neo, maybe fourth.
hmm
So there are people that know this program better than me, but this is my stream, or this is our stream, so we we get what we get. But it is really fun and easy to use. I think that I can say just from the offset.
yeah,
So it is Adobe's new online 3D modeling tool, basically. It does take inspiration, I think, and references some of the stuff that you would find in Adobe Dimension,
Right.
which I've always been a massive fan of, and kind of used to what I wanted to use it for, which was really like 3D modeling. And it wasn't necessarily designed for that at the time. But now we have this, and this I'm very excited about. So what we see here, of course, is a spooky spiderweb. So I've created this frame, and actually it is, of course, in 3D. So I can move this around.
Yeah, cool. I like that.
And we have this 3D little frame. What I will say just from the outset is that depending on where you are, Neo may work a little bit slower or a little bit quicker, depending on your internet connection, depending on how close you are to where majority of the servers are right now, and also might depend on the time of day.
Yeah.
So if you see that it's a bit laggy, don't worry. It is still in beta and it is just new and everyone's playing around with it. But that will all improve as we go along.
Cool.
Then another project that I wanted to show, just to kind of demo the capabilities of Neo thus far a little bit, is this cauldron.
That's cool. Yeah.
This was the first thing I made in all of my exploration with Neo. So it's only going to get better from here, folks.
I think it's great. I love the bubbles. It's cool.
Thank you. This bubbly section, I think I redid 7 times, probably. Because the feature that I really love with Neo is that you have all these shapes, but you'll notice that that's a circle, that's a circle, another circle, but they don't look like circles. And that's because we have, if you look right to the right side here, we have this thing called blending. So first we have the appearance section, and then we have combined shapes. And we can either, add the shape like we've done here, and we've blended it in.
Like add 2 shapes together, like you create 2 different basic shapes and then...
shapes together.
Yeah.
And then we can repel, so they will like really not want to sort of combine and mesh. And avoid does a similar thing. So this is essentially your, is it Pathfinder? I believe it is the Pathfinder.
Yeah. Yeah.
In terms of how the shapes interact with each other. Now you'll notice that I have the blending on 0.02. It is incredibly strong. And I haven't quite gotten used to having to work around with such small numbers. But I imagine using a bigger canvas or something like that, you could use more tangible, like 1 to 5 numbers or stuff like that. But just to show what I mean, let's copy paste one of these bubbles. Actually, I'll bring my keyboard up to my desk because I'm not using the tablet yet. Oh, you can already see how the bubbles are going.
Oh yeah, they kind of, it's almost like liquid. Like they're kind of trying to merge together.
So cool. Yeah. And really helpful, obviously, if you're doing something like bubbly, a witch's cauldron. So there you can see. And if we click here and let's change the blending to, let's see, 0.01 maybe. You'll now see that you have to get a lot closer for any blending to occur. So you can kind of adjust the curve of the blend as well, which means that you can feasibly create any shape that you want by, using a lot of circles and blending them together and using that as the basis for your shape.
That's cool.
Now another cool thing that I'm going to take some inspiration from when we jump into Fresco, potentially, but we'll see, is the styles function. So what we have here now is like pretty basic, like realistic 3D model. I mean, it's obviously rendered in the sense that you have your shadows and it looks realistic. But what we also can do is we can have it be in vector art.
Oh.
So this nice, cool, like cell shading style, basically.
Yeah.
You still have all the shadows and everything like that and the effects. And it is still, I should show, it is still in 3D. So you can see how I have engineered these bubbles. This is not I guess, video game ready file.
Right.
Because
you've made it 3D for a specific kind of angle.
Yes.
Rather than, yeah, cool.
Exactly.
I get that, yeah.
Just a little bit of a time saver. So I'm going to keep my camera where it is and then make it look okay from that angle. But if you move things around, it might look a little thrown together. So that is the vector art. We also have a fun one, which I'm sure Jeremy Lord would appreciate, which is the pixelated.
Just a pixelated one. That's cool.
Which is so much fun. And you can also choose the level of pixelation, which can be really handy if you want something that's, almost realistic, that just looks a little bit off in terms of the pixelation. Or you can have, I guess this is the bare minimum. Actually, no, 16 is the bare minimum. And obviously, this doesn't really look like a cauldron anymore. But I love that with just a slider, I can adjust.
Yeah, and that's all happening in real time, which is pretty cool.
Exactly how pixelated I want it to be. And another fun thing is also that I can color the pixel outline. To add sort of a further effect layer, basically. And then I've kind of saved the best for last, in my opinion. My favorite style that I think would be great to create and use as reference is the illustrative.
Oh, wow.
Which reminds me very much of like Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Kind of where it's 3D, but it looks painted. Similar to what you were saying yesterday, like with Arcane.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going a little bit slower, and we're going to ignore that this cauldron doesn't have the legs in the right configuration. But anyway, it's all for show.
It's really cool. I love that kind of stylistic look. I think it's really nice.
Yeah, and then you can also adjust the texture style, which also slightly changes the coloring of it as well. I mean, I could play around with this for hours.
Yeah.
Which is definitely how I want to spend my my weekend. Just going in and out, like big and small. In games like The Sims, for example, where you're doing your character creation and you can like decide how like muscly or how like big your eyes should be.
Yeah.
That's basically what I'll be doing all weekend, is just going the biggest. Okay, what does that do? And then going the smallest and seeing what that does.
Yeah.
And then we have...
It's like having a randomizer when you're creating a character, and it just throws the proportions and everything just looks ridiculous.
Exactly.
It's always fun.
So yeah, this I think is easily one of the coolest things that I've ever seen in a beta, just like right out of the box.
Yeah.
And let's see if there's anything more I can show in this view for this project specifically. Goodness me, I can't speak anymore. Don't think so.
Well, that's cool, because I think we're at our 15-minute intro anyway, and I think people should just go and check it out. I think one of the cool things is that it's just a web app at the moment. Like, it reminds me a little bit of Firefly when it first came out. It's so easy because you don't need to download anything or update anything. It's constantly being updated in the background because it's in beta. And so I've shared the link in chat, and if you're watching on demand, it should probably be there in the chat replay as well. And then you can just go check it out yourself and go play around with it. And I believe it's kind of more designed around designers who want to add a little bit of 3D to their like workflow or projects, rather than, hey, this is going to be like Blender or something. Like, it's not trying to be that. So it's meant to be fairly understandable. Like when Johanna was talking about the Pathfinder thing, and yeah, if you play around with it, it'll feel quite intuitive, I think, as someone who hasn't actually had to play around with it yet. But still, I have faith.
Exactly. Now, do we want to, question for you, Flynn, do we want to go through how to make spiderweb, or do we want to actually switch over into Fresco?
It's up to you with the time that you think. Do you want to just do a quick little show of how you do the web? Looks like some repeated patterns here, so maybe you could show how to do one of them, and then we'll
pretty simple.
Be cool to see how to export, like how you might export something and put it into something like Fresco after that. Yeah, that would be cool.
Amazing. Okay, so we go to, on the left side here, we'll hover over our shapes. Now you can see you have all the basic shapes that you would expect from just a simple 3D modeling program. What we're going to use here is the capsule, because I really like these soft edges that we get.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to draw that up, and let's see here. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let's see, select that and move that. Okay, and what we can do really easily is just drag that up. If we press shift, we kind of have a controlled a more controlled, you know how you press shift in be it Illustrator or Photoshop, and you can just, no matter how shaky your hand is, the object will just follow a straight line down.
Right.
That is what I meant to say. So let's bring that there. And you'll see that it is reacting to something on the right side here, and that's because I do actually have something there that I've hidden. But we're going to ignore that for now. I might show that at the end. And then I've just duplicated that line. I'm going to do press shift and then rotate. And then shift again to move it here. Shift again to move it up. Let's see. And then let's turn on some blending, because you can see clearly that these shapes haven't really joined together. So let's see, maybe 0.5 on both of these. See how that looks.
Have you had much experience with other 3D apps?
I've tried around. I have tried Blender. I've tried Nomad Sculpt, and of course Adobe Dimension as well. So I think I have very much of a, well, what if I just put that thing there and drag that thing there? Will that work? That's sort of where my knowledge of this works. Now you can see we have a smooth transition and a sort of blending of this sort of half of a square shape. But I have a general sense of, you know, I've combined my knowledge of, for example, Pathfinder with Photoshop, and my knowledge of, well, if I put these things together and I have something like the smoothing on, maybe I will get the shape that I want.
Right.
So it's definitely on a, I know how this would work if I made it with my two hands.
Yeah.
Is it the same thing if I make it in this 3D software? And it seems like today, with this, that is the case.
There was a question you may or may not know the answer to. Is what type of graphics card do you have on your computer?
I have the standard mixed standard card. I'm pretty sure this is a. Actually, maybe we'll do a quick check. Graphics. I have the Radeon Pro Vega 568 GB. So I guess 8 gigabytes of graphics. The Radeon Pro Vega 56.
Yeah, I would
don't
imagine.
know if that says anything to anyone. But yeah, it's the standard iMac Pro 2017 model.
Yeah, and I've just shared the. I just found the graphics, like technical. What are the technical requirements for Neo, which are pretty okay, I think. It's actually quite surprised. I'm glad I looked this up because I was going to suggest that you don't really need a great GPU or graphics card to run this, but you actually do. So GeForce 2080 is fairly like advanced. I think I'm sure most M1, M2, M3, M4 like Macs would just do it in its sleep. But anything before them, you might want to. I mean, you can just play around with it. You can just see how it goes. But yeah, it looks like 8 gigabyte RAM minimum, that kind of thing. Sort of 2019 and beyond, I would say. You should be fine. But yeah, there you go. Hope that helps.
Awesome. Yeah. What I've found is like even if it is a little bit you know what? I lost my train of thought on that one. Let's go back to talking about what we're talking about. So as you can see here, in very similar fashion to if this was 2D, what I'm basically just doing is making lines and connecting them, and it's really quite simple. Now, obviously there is sort of the classic spiderweb shape where the line is actually curved, and I haven't messed around with that yet, but basically just from doing a quick demo, you can take these, what are they called again, capsules, and pair them together, and eventually you will have a spider web.
It's pretty cool.
That's how it's done. Yeah.
I love it.
What I might do is I'm going to scroll down here on my layers panel, which I wish it was bigger. But I digress. I mean, I'm just going to quickly find the spider web I made earlier. Because here you'll see that I have used this shape here in the middle to kind of remove the guesswork or remove the sort of the trial and error of moving these spider web bits around myself. Let's see. The thing that is a little bit frustrating, but it is still in beta, is that I can't group select. Oh, actually, maybe I can. Ah, yes. I can. Let's see. There we go. I can group select and sort of move things around and hide or unhide. But so far it doesn't have the capability. For example, if I select these 2 points, properties for multiple objects selected is not supported yet. But you can do the bare minimum, and frankly, to me, the more important part, which is just, hiding and moving stuff at once.
Yeah.
But here you can see this is more of a complete spider web where I've combined the hexagonal shape with an 8-sided hexagon. I know that's not octagon, that's what it is. with these lines, and it has a similar effect of putting the capsule sort of in between the lines here as I have around in the frame. But it just saves you a bit of time. And with this, you could just take the take the octagon, copy paste it, make it bigger, and that way you can much more quickly build up your spider web.
Yeah.
But I might actually zoom in on that a little bit so you can see. And then I promise we'll move into Fresco after this. But again, you can see now that is several shapes interacting and joining into one.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And let's see. It really is no different to how you would build this in Illustrator or in Photoshop. Just want to show you the repel options so you can see the difference if you want a more stylistic spider web or whatever you like, and then the avoid does it in this way.
Yeah.
Which one looks like knitting. That's very nice.
Misty was saying that it reminds them of puff paint. I haven't tried that before,
yes,
but that's a crafty thing I'm sure you're very aware of.
Yes, I am a big fan of puff paint. But to answer your question, your inquiry from earlier in the stream, now what we will do is I have already pre-exported this because depending on how big your canvas is and how many layers and shapes you have and everything, it can take quite a while. But if I wanted to take this frame from Neo and bring it to Fresco, all I have to do is go up here to the download button right here at the top, and I can choose whether I want a PNG, JPEG, SVG, or even MP4 video, which fascinates me. I wonder if you're going to be able to animate in Neo at some point.
I saw that. I actually saw that demoed. So I think that what it does is it creates a loop, like a looping animation of your thing rotating, I think, at this stage. And they'll probably add more things to it. So if you think about like if you created like a 3D character or something like that, it would turn it all around, and then so it would repeat. So obviously if you upload it to the internet, it would just constantly loop.
Amazing.
That kind of thing. Cool. Yeah.
Love that. Here you can also see that we can export or download the image with or without the background. For this scene, I've just gone with a simple solid color background, but you can play around with the gradients, and that might be a part of the scene as well. And then you can also choose the sliders that you want to export as, which is great if you want to just do a little preview of what it is you're working on. So I could have exported this to 1080 by 1920 and saved on the time and sort of the quality of the export, but just to get the idea across and send it for review perhaps. But prior to the stream, I did export this at the max resolution, so I could pop it into Fresco. Now before I do that, I will just quickly show the inspiration for what I'm going for now moving into Fresco, and that is of course classic Halloween illustration.
Wow.
No surprises there, I don't think, for anyone. It being Halloween and me being me, this is going to be my inspiration for today. So these are all designs made by the Beastal? I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but basically this company here that does loads of other, party decorations, but the Halloween vintage is of course my favorite and what we might recognize the most from. I actually have some stickers here. Oh,
let me bring that up.
You can see.
There we go. Got the TikTok covering going on. Very good, very good. Lift a little bit higher. Can you bring them a little bit higher? Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool.
There we go.
Pumpkins.
So this kind of thing. So very jolly, and sort of spooky, but also fun.
Yeah.
So let's now, I'm going to have those images there. And we're going to do a little switcheroo where we're going to move to the second camera, which is, let's see if that worked.
Oh, there we go.
The iPad cam.
That's awesome.
Let's adjust that slightly. Now, of course, I had to have some holiday themed props, but I'm seeing that my screen is looking a little bit dirty, so I'm just going to take my miniature broomstick here.
That's outrageous.
I definitely had pre-made just for this stream and cleaned things up a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now we shall open up. I won't show you my passcode.
Yeah. Good job.
So devious.
Yeah. Well done.
And here we go. So this is just an A2 canvas. That if I were to print this later, I would print in A4, but the design itself would be on A2. So with how all that works, I cannot entirely explain, but it just makes the images look nice and crisp.
Yeah.
And then what we're going to do is going to go here and go to photos.
It's just a pixel thing, if anyone was wondering. Like the amount of pixels would be 72 in the thing. And then so if you double it, you'll kind of get about 150. Obviously that math isn't perfect, but it's a good roundabout way. Printers are pretty good these days, so you can kind of get away with that.
I'm so glad that we did the math and that I didn't have to do the math.
Oh, the math doesn't work at all. It's like 142, 144, right? So you're kind of like 8 pixels down, but you can kind of do close enough is good enough for some things. Yeah.
Fantastic. Now I'm just going to go make my brush even bigger and fill in the background here. Actually, you know, I'm not going to do it that way. That's silly. I'm going to use the paint bucket tool, vector, and fill that in.
And for those who are just joining us, we're playing around a little bit. Well, Johanna was playing around a little bit with Project Neo, which you can check out. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link there. Actually, on Behance and YouTube in our chat, I've just shared a link. It's free to play around, so you can just log in and play around with that. Let us know what you think if you have had a turn. It's just browser-based, so there's nothing to download. And it's in beta, so it's always fun to play around with things, I think, at the beginning. If you have any interest in 3D, it's meant to be for designers wanting to add a little bit of 3D to their workflow rather than, you know, a full-on 3D app. And of course, now we're in Fresco, which is a drawing app for tablets and iPads and things like that, which is now free. So if you missed that, it's totally free now for everyone, whether you have a Creative Cloud account or not. You can just log in, download the app and draw away. So everything you're seeing here is free today, which is a fun, kind of a happy accident. Like all these new fun things are all free, which is really cool. So you can go play around too.
Amazing. It's just like Halloween, honestly, is just bountiful holiday.
Some treats for everyone.
Absolutely.
And I missed it because I was kind of talking over the top a little bit then, but you brought it in. You just brought that in as a PNG or a JPEG or something?
PNG, yeah, absolutely.
PNG? Yeah, cool.
And now I'm just going in here and sketching out
a croissant.
Yes, definitely.
It could be the middle of a croissant. That's what
It could be, absolutely. That probably says more about my pumpkin drawing skills than anything.
No, I've got it on my mind because I drew a very rudimentary one for Annika for a recent live stream where she was going to show how I think she was going to show in After Effects how she's going to use it as a style reference for Firefly, which is now in After Effects. What am I talking about? Express. And we didn't end up using it, but I drew it. Yeah, we forgot to do it. But it's quite a cool little feature. And I was just looking at my amazingly drawn croissant, and it started out like this.
Amazing. Well, you've made me self-conscious about it now.
Oh,
I'm gonna start
sorry.
again. No, it is all good.
Now you've just gone full cartoon pumpkin because you don't.
Exactly. Look, I'm sensitive, okay? We're just gonna keep it very nice and simple here. And let's see, what kind of face do we want? Maybe we'll do a happy face.
Happy pumpkin.
Yeah, happy pumpkin. Now, Flynn, do you said your kids are definitely going to go trick or treating? Do you have any other like Halloween activities?
No, and we didn't decorate. 'Cause we're in a new place now, so we weren't in like our like forever home as they say, for the last since we've had kids. So we're very excited to do all the decoration and all that sort of stuff. And we just ran out of time, which is really sad. So we just sort of didn't really have time to kind of do it all the way we wanted to do it. So we're going to pause that. We're going to focus on that probably for Christmas, I think. And then, but yeah, it's quite hard because I kind of want to do permanent things. I want to do things that are sustainable. I don't want to just kind of get lots of plastic and put it out on the lawn that then degrades and then we throw out and we have to do it again. So I'm trying to think about more of a sustainable approach to, decorating in the holiday. And it's just one of those things where you kind of get a bit of paralysis because there's so many different things to do. How much money do you want to spend? How much time and energy, that sort of thing. So we didn't quite get there this year, but hopefully by Christmas we can do some decorations and stuff we can, recycle or reuse for many years to come. But yeah,
absolutely.
that's the plan.
Well, you know me. So when you do decide to get on the Halloween decor train, you have my number.
Yeah.
I would be delighted to help you out, and I won't even charge you.
Yeah, Ella Stranger's here as well. They say they love your area. So yeah, you're such a painter's, crafter's backdrop you've got going on there.
Absolutely.
And they did small decorations because they ran out of time too. Yeah, it can be tough.
Absolutely.
It's a busy time of year, I find.
And like some years you will have it all sorted out, others you won't. I am a big fan of sort of slowly accumulating stuff. So maybe having one or two new pieces every year, but kind of building up with the sort of the quality essentials.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's very cool. Start now for Christmas. Yeah, that's the tip, right? Like really should need to start like right now planning if anything's going to happen in Christmas or run out of time again. Yeah. Can't believe it's Christmas soon. You guys, how'd that happen?
I don't even know, man.
I got to say, this is a very terrible croissant or a fantastic pumpkin. So I'm going to go with fantastic pumpkin. I really like the teeth. I really love the teeth. It's really cool. It's very cute.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You have redeemed yourself.
Yeah.
I shall allow you to be host for another.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I had you going in the first half there, though, didn't I?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, very good. So, time-wise, we're having fun, so it's all good if we get cut off. I'm pretty sure we've got another 6 minutes. There's a 5% chance we have 1 minute.
Because it is 12:39 at the moment.
Yeah, we got till 12:45.
12:45. You see, I was going on usual time where we end at 12:55. So my apologies.
That's okay.
On that one. In that case, let's just do not a lazy coloring job, but let's just be effective. Now, obviously, Neo was the big was the big showstopper in today's stream, and Fresco, now that it's free, you bet I will be campaigning to do more Fresco streams.
Yeah.
Now that everyone can use it. Don't worry if you feel like you were left wanting more with this Fresco stuff. Never fear, because as long as I'm here, I'm trying not to rhyme, but it is just happening. There will be Fresco stuff for sure.
Yeah.
So let's do our trusted multiply.
I was wondering what was happening then. I was like, you're racing the smile, but no, you did it. You know what you're doing.
Exactly. It's almost like I've done this before. And then I'm going to erase this part. Just keeping it very, very simple. And now I'm going to lower my brush. And let's go with a slightly brighter shade. Let's figure out how the highlights work. Would they be on this side? Maybe not. Maybe they'd be on this side. What do you think, Flynn?
I don't know. I think I always default to highlight being on the left, I think.
Then let's go highlight on the left. Let's see what's left. Just keeping it very, very simple. And then we will go a much darker, more red. That's not dark enough. Maybe that one to do the inside. The underneath. Yeah, this is definitely a last minute quick pumpkin. So that's all right.
It's cool. It's a happy pumpkin.
Yeah, it's a jolly pumpkin. And let's see. There we go. And then last thing, I'm going to bring that yellow back to do the stem, a la our reference. Pop that behind. Remove the sketch layer. How are we doing with time?
You got like 2 minutes, I think, before we're cut off on Behance. So
2 minutes.
Should probably.
Okay. And in that case,
like this blue, by the way.
It is actually. I know we've said this before, but unfortunately, it is a purple.
There we go. I was gonna say I've been shocking lately. I've been shocking lately with my color.
More purple.
My daughter thinks it's the funniest thing in the world. She thinks I can't see color. Like, it's hard to explain. She's 5, and it's hard to kind of explain color blindness, but she gets it because I get colors wrong. And so I'm not allowed to teach her colors for obvious reasons. But now she knows them way better than I do. She like just is always like, "Oh, Dad can't see that because it's blue." It's like, I do see it. I just don't really register the color.
Yeah, I don't know that I see it, but I do see it.
Yeah, it's quite fun. But we should wrap there. So yes. Project Neo, check it out if you're watching on demand and you've missed it a couple of times there. You can go check it out, have a play around with it. 3D app, nothing to download. Just go to the website, just like Firefly. Have a play around with it when it's in its infancy. See how it's going. Shout out to everyone that said hello in chat, Misty and Alessandra. It's great to have you here. And Johanna, thank you so much I love this pumpkin. He's such a happy little pumpkin.
Thank you, and thank you for having me, and I hope everyone has a frightfully fun Halloween, or however you decide to spend your Thursday.
Yeah, I hope everyone has a fantastic Halloween, and then we'll be talking about nothing but Christmas for the next 6 weeks. So we'll see you then, and see you next time on Adobe Live. Bye.
See you next time, everyone.